1996, the Jordan 12 tax season. Before we touch anything, you need to understand what you're looking at. Tinker Hatfield designed these pulling from three different worlds: the rise of Michael Jordan, the Japanese rising sun, and New York City cab yellow. That wasn't an accident. That was the intention. This shoe came out right at the peak of the Bulls dynasty. Jordan was wearing these during the 96-97 season, one of the most dominant runs in basketball history.
Feed Jordan. Jordan backing into the fadeaway. From Mike, good pass.
And now, they're sitting here 30 years later, falling apart. The factory glue is gone, the Jumpman tabs are cracked, they're not wearable anymore. A client sent these in and trusted me to fix that. And look at that, the original 1996 Air unit. Nearly 3 decades old, you'll never see one of these unless you're tearing down a pair. It's no longer holding its cushion feel, so we're going to be replacing it with EVA foam. Same feel, same function, and it'll outlast the original by decades. Now this is the part that separates real restoration from just gluing something back together, the prep work. Every trace of that old factory glue has to be removed. And that's the whole difference between what I do and a quick flip. The prep is invisible in the final product, but it's everything. Now, I know what some of you may be thinking. Why not just buy the retro? They literally just redropped these. And I get it, but here's the thing nobody talks about. The OG and the retro are not the same shoe. The leather is different, the construction is different, the weight in your hand is different, and no matter how close they get, a retro will never carry what this pair carries. 30 years of real history does not come in a box from sneakers. There's a reason people pay for this work, and it's not just the materials. It's knowledge, knowing what glue, how much, where, and when. I lost some footage throughout this video, especially in the upcoming sections. Power outage earlier took it out, but what I can tell you is there's no rushing this step. You let the glue tack, you align it, you press it, and you do it right, or you do it again. Or not at all if you messed up. But before we do the final bonding process, we have to cut out the EVA foam replacement for that Air unit. I trace everything by hand, every edge, every curve, so it sits exactly the way the original did. EVA foam acts as a memory foam cushion that will never crack, never crumble, never fail the way a 30-year-old Air unit will. The person wearing these shouldn't have to think about any of this. They should just feel supported. That's the job. And this is why people restore shoes. Not because they can't afford a new pair, but because a new pair isn't this pair. The person who sent these in didn't want a replacement. They wanted these with 30 years of meaning still intact. And with 30 more years ahead of them. That's what we do at Restorekicks. We don't just fix shoes, we preserve what matters. And if you've got a pair that deserves this, you know where to find me. All the links are in the bio. Alright, so I know this video was a little shorter than the majority of my videos, but that's because I lost a lot of the video footage while editing this. Rookie mistake, but now I know what not to do moving forward. Don't pull the SD card out of my computer before ejecting it. If you do that, you will lose some footage. It doesn't happen every time, but it could happen. And that's what happened in this video. But thankfully, I was able to get the bulk of what we really needed to see in this restoration. But I do want to use the rest of this video to just talk about my business, to talk about me, and just connect with you guys a little more one-on-one. Now, if you guys have been watching me for a while, you know that I restore shoes, and this is literally what I do for my job. This is my life. I don't work a 9 to 5. I don't have side jobs. This is my main job, and this is what I intend on doing, and growing as a full-time business in a way that's never been done before. I have a lot of goals, a lot of vision, a lot of ideas I want to bring to life, right? And with that, I understand it takes some time. And I want to take this time to just talk about what goes through someone's head who's trying to build something real that lasts, that's not just overnight. And it's a lot of, you know, uncertainty with it. There's a lot of, will next month, be as good as the last month was? Will I be able to continue to receive shoes from people? Um, and I understand a lot of it is a mindset thing. I'm very big on personal development, working on myself. And I find myself in these times where the self-talk is down. I talk down on myself. I'm, not as confident in myself as I should be. And I feel like no matter where you are in life, whether you're older than me, whether you're younger than me, whether you're the same age as me, I feel like one thing I'm learning as I do get older, being 23 years old, is that in life there's going to be ups and there's going to be downs. I feel like it's a very cliche thing you hear a lot of the time too. Of course, there's ups and downs in life, but you don't really hear people talk about it and get to know their thought process behind it, how they feel. And on the days where it's down for me, on the weeks where it's down for me, it's tough. It's really tough. And all these big visions, dreams, and goals that I have, it makes me, in a way, second guess myself if I'm really capable of making the things I want to make happen. And then there's another side of me that says, well, why even focus on the negative? Why even focus on, oh, can I make it happen? Can I make it happen? Just keep pushing each day to make it happen. Right. And that's very true. And that is what I do regardless, whether I do have a bad week where I don't get as many shoes in, or I have a bad, you know, project. Let's say I send a pair of shoes out and a part starts to separate. I mean, stuff like that happens, and to let it deter you off your track or to completely derail you and make you think that you're not capable of doing what you want to do anymore, I think is just not the right perspective to have. And that's one thing I'm trying to work on, because I don't want the overall mindset to shift from goal oriented, driven, vision focused ideas, endless ideas, to I don't know if I can do this anymore. I can't do it anymore. Because I think if I get in that mindset, then that'll actually happen. I think a big lesson I've learned reading books, watching other people who are successful, is you become what you think about. And if you're so focused on failure, if you're focused on not doing well, chances are those are the results you're going to get. So I'm doing my job, my part internally that no one else sees on the outside, uh, to think positive about my situation, and that, you know, good or bad, regardless of when things are going good or going bad, you still need to put in that same amount of work and effort. And I feel like there's been times where I have been in parts of the business where it was going super well, and I sort of let myself, honestly, maybe not admittedly to myself in the time, or at that time, fall back. I let myself slide back. I let myself get a little, comfortable. I let myself, maybe lack on, how promptly I was getting back to people, because in the back of my mind, I have so many shoes to work on. Then there's a pressure that comes. Well, if I start, messaging people back, then I won't be able to work on the shoes that I have to work on. And I think, it's just going to take a certain level of work and a certain level of effort to balance both of those things. Eventually, I will need to hire people and have people on my team, which is part of the plan, the grand big plan, but until I get to that point, I feel like I have a lot more work to do on myself, a lot more commitment I need to make to my business, and not let myself slide down the wrong path when I've worked so hard to get to where I am today. I mean, I look back on when I was in eighth grade, maybe a freshman in high school, just w- dreaming about where I am today, dreaming to have, more orders and, I could work on. I remember I used to, I didn't even get orders in when I first started. I had to start buying used shoes. I started out restoring my own shoes and then going from there, buying used shoes, restoring them, reselling them, and just dreaming that one day I could just have a steady client flow, a steady workflow. And here I am with that. And I feel like sometimes we dream for certain things to happen in our life. And then when those things come to fruition, come to life, we don't realize that that's literally what we dreamed of. And, for some reason, maybe we start to slide back or get comfortable when in reality, this is what you dreamed of. And this is what I dreamed of. And I'm at a point now where I'm dreaming even bigger than I did. And it's, it's, there's just uncertainty on, can I make these next 6 years, these next 5 years, the dreams that I have, can I make them a reality just like I did 6 years ago, 5 years ago, with the thoughts that I had at the time. Um, and deep down inside, I know myself, I know I'm willing to do the work that it takes to get this done. But I do feel uncertainty, right? And I'm not going to sit here and say I don't. Um, I do feel like I should be posting more consistently. I do feel like I should make more content regardless of what other people may think of it. I feel like all my content right now in a way is, repetitive, especially with the Instagram reels and my shorts. And I've been thinking of just still sticking with that style of content because it's beautiful, it's great. But I feel like a lot of other ways I can make content that I'm just not taking advantage of. And that's hurting no one but myself. And I don't mean to get on here and ramble and rant, but it's my YouTube channel, so I guess I sort of can. And if you're sitting through this with me, I appreciate you. And truly means a lot. I guess what I'm trying to say to summarize all this up, went on a little longer than I expected, but um, you know, whatever happens in life happens to us all, right? And it's not what happens to you that's going to determine how your life works out, how the next 6 months, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years look for you. But it's what you do about it that's going to determine that. It's not what happens to you, it's what you do about it. And that is something I wrote down in my journal a long time ago. And I think I've sort of gotten away from. I think I've been letting life happen to me instead of making life happen for me. And I think there's a big distinction between the two. So, with that being said, I want to make a commitment to myself from now on, regardless of what's going on, to post one YouTube video a week consistently. Regardless, I'm going to aim for two because the more the merrier. At least 3 YouTube shorts or Instagram reels. And every single week, just at least one different style of content that I've never posted before, whether that's me vlogging my day, whether that's me showing you guys the orders I have on deck, whether that's me walking you through a part on a shoe specifically for a whole video instead of showing the whole restoration, explaining why shoes start to separate, why midsoles start to crumble, why some air units hold up, why some air units don't, what works on some shoes, what may not work on another, or just go through all the rare shoes I've worked on, rank them. There's just so many different ideas to explore. So I'm making a commitment to myself and to you guys, and I need you to hold me accountable to stay consistent, to post one YouTube video a week at least, gonna aim for 2, 3 short format videos at least a week, and then 1 new style of content, and see where we are 90 days from now, 3 months, 6 months from now. I love what I do. I mean, genuinely, I couldn't be more thankful for the opportunity that I have to be able to work on shoes from all around the world. Germany, England, Czech Republic, Singapore, Philippines, South Africa, France, Canada, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a few places, obviously all around the United States. I'm so thankful for it. I'm so thankful for the people who watch me, who support me, who want to see me grow. I really do believe in myself that there's great things ahead for me and for everyone who's a part of this community. I think I was put here for a reason on this earth by God, and I need to do my due diligence to ensure I live up to the standards God put me here for. So, with that being said, thank you for watching this rant. I guess it made the YouTube video a little longer than it needed to be, but it's my YouTube channel, so I'm gonna post this anyways, and whoever wants to watch it can watch it. And if you made it to this point, drop a comment and just let me know. I appreciate you. I really do. I hope to meet you one day. I hope to connect with you one day. I hope to even work on a pair of your shoes one day. That would mean the world to me, just like you watching this right now. So let me stop talking. I'll see you guys in the next video. Be sure to drop a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And let's crush it together. Let's go.